long ago, right before I got into ministry, about I would say 30 years ago, my wife and I had a business, quite powerful business. We had many businesses, about 6, 7, 8 of them, but one of them was doing extremely well. And we had a little factory to make clothing. And we sold that clothing in Romania, in Germany, in Belgium, and so on and so forth. And we had quite a good profit, about 40, 50,000 a day, every day. And we also had a big garden. When I say big garden, I love gardening. When I go in the garden, I feel refreshed. All my stress goes away. And you can call me crazy, I don't care. I talk to my tomatoes and my plants. And I pick them from the garden, and I don't feel the need to wash them, I eat them. And they have taste, unlike those from whatever store, you know. And so gardening, it's heaven for me. And so we had a big garden, and in that big, gigantic, many acres garden, we had about, I would say, 1 acre or more strawberries. Imagine. But in the same time, I was involved in ministry, doing trips and mission trips and choirs and evangelism and preaching and youth meetings, and I was involved into the church quite a lot, though I was not yet a pastor. And so it was the time to pick strawberries, but also the time to do evangelism. And we lived just about from here to the road from the church, literally 2 minutes walk. We went in the morning in the garden and picked many buckets of strawberries, so many that you could, like, it was filling the kitchen and the hallway, and we gave to the neighbors and we gave to the church people, and we still had too much. And I always learned that God doesn't give it to you so you enjoy it alone. God gives it to you that you may be a blessing for others. And the more you bless others, the more God will bless you, so you have where to bless from. And we never kept anything. I would not enjoy it if I keep it for myself. Our garden is small and loaded. You have no imagination when I say loaded. 40, 45, 50 tomatoes per plant. Many of them around 2.5 to 3 pounds each tomato. I know it sounds crazy, but I can show you pictures, and I have witnesses. Amazing garden, extremely blessed. People see it and they say, you are blessed. And I believe that. And so we call people and say, help yourself. We share, and we love sharing. And so we picked strawberries, and we took them home, and we took a shower, and we looked at the clock. Another 1 hour, and evangelism starts. And we said, we don't have time to wash our little pigs, the 2 kids, because they were not picking but eating, and they were dirty of strawberries from head to toes. And we didn't mind that, kids should have fun. And so my wife and I looked to each other and we said, until we give them a shower and change them, we will be late. So we went to the neighbor and said, can you please keep an eye on them? We'll be back right away. And the neighbor said, sure I will, even come there and spend time with them. Guess what? She didn't. In communism, the government used to take electricity and water every day, sometimes 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours a day. They would turn it off to save the economy. And so what happened, I would tell my kids, when you go to the toilet, you flush it. If it's not clean, you take the toilet brush and clean it. Now, if the water is off, we'll leave water in a bucket for you so you could actually clean it. We picked strawberries, brought them home, left to church. Kids said, Mom and Dad, share. So many strawberries, let's share. They called all the kids from the neighborhood, and they all ate strawberries. And then they all ate peaches. And then they all ate corn. And then they all ate honey. And then they all ate plums, and then water, and then strawberries. And guess what happened to their little stomach? And then they all went to the bathroom, and the water was off. And they used the bucket, but there was no more buckets. And they kept going into the bathroom. The week before, we painted the whole house because my wife likes every once in a while to move furniture. I don't know why, don't ask me why. We used to argue and I would always lose the battle, so I just stopped arguing. And so I don't see if it's good this way and you are happy now, why 6 months later it's no longer good. But if you want to be happy, don't argue. Just do it, because if not, you'll be miserable a week and then you still do it. So it's better to do it and you are not miserable. So my wife wanted to paint the house. I said, okay, let's paint the house. The kids would come, Dad, can we help? No, you'll get paint all over, you stay away. After the other kids left, after they ate strawberries, my little 2.5 years son, Ovi, looks in the toilet and he says, this is a better color than the paint Mom used. Toilet brush, toilet walls. The other son, Gabriel, says, too dark brown. The strawberries are a better color. So strawberries, walls, now too reddish, too pinky, let's mix it. Toilet, strawberries, wall. Toilet, strawberries, wall. And they painted the hallway, the living room and the kitchen until the toilet was empty. Both of them. We came home from church. We could not enter the house because of the smell. We had to take down all the mud from the wall to the brick and for about a week live in a different place until a team of workers put new mud on the walls and so on and so forth. My wife got so frustrated, she started to cry. I don't have emotions. I was born without emotions. And I was like, should I laugh? My wife, don't you laugh. You encourage them. They do just the way you did when you were small. Don't you laugh? I said, okay. And my wife said to me, why don't you spank them? They deserve it. Look what they did. And I said to my wife, as much as I did, they are saints. And if my Father forgave me and Jesus forgave me, shouldn't we extend that grace and forgive them? And I took them, one in the left, one in the right. I kissed them both, and I said, what you did was wrong, but I did worse. And God forgave me, and I forgive you. Just do no more. And the kids looked to Mama and said, you see, Dad loves us. And she said, sure. That's first story. Second story. I had a neighbor. He owned a sewing factory. We owned a sewing factory. He had no work. We were extremely well to do. For 3 months he had no salary. We had a gigantic salary daily. One day he came almost crying and said, I have no food for my kids. I said, how can I help you? How in the world, in this crisis in Romania, when you cannot find anything, how in the world you still have cloth, you still have this, you still have that? I said, well, I'm not sure I can tell you all of those things, but I can help you. So I gave him 50,000 meters of raw cloth material. That would have provided for him more than 3 months' work. And I said, this is a gift. You don't have to pay. You don't owe me. This is not a loan. This is a gift. Work, and with the money, eat, and the rest, that would be money for you to start buying raw material to make find it product, you know. Next day, the economical police came to our house to put me in prison. And they proposed between 7 and 10 years prison for me for stealing cloth. I said, you are totally wrong. I never stolen a penny in my life. And they said, how in the world can you give 50,000 meters of raw cloth as a gift? Unless it's stolen. I said, are you kidding me? Go and look in the books. And they checked the storehouse, the warehouse, and they checked the books, and they found everything in order, everything recorded, every penny recorded, what was, the balance was accurate, you follow me? And then for the 50,000 paid with cash the day before, and the money were in the drawer. And they said, who paid for it? I said, I did. I didn't. It was not a gift. It was a gift for him, not for me. For me, I paid for it. Do you understand? Jesus gave you a gift. It's a gift for you, but not for him. He paid for that gift. And I said it was a gift free for him, but it was not free for me. I paid from my own pocket so he can get a life. And he went to the police to turn me in. And he said, that's the reason we have no work, because you have too much. I said, no, the reason you have no work is because you don't work. But anyway, they didn't put me in prison. And I said to them, I know that you have a poor salary. I know that you have kids. Now, since you checked me and since you got me honest with everything, I didn't give you a gift before because you had thought it's a bribe. Now I'm going to give you a gift. I know that you have many kids. Take here a few suits for you. Take here a few dresses for your wife. Take here a few this for the kids. Take some shoes. Take from my factory because I have plenty. And I will pay for it. They left. It happened the next week. They went to my neighbor and say, you received a gift of 50,000 meters of raw material. Did you record it? Where is it? I used it. Where is the money from the income? I gambled it hoping that I will get more money and I lost everything. And so they put him in prison. His wife came to me. I am desperate. My husband is in prison. He gambled all the money that you gave him. He lost the material. And now he owes to the government the taxes and the part of the government, because the government took about 55% from everything that you made. 55 to 65%. It was all called cooperation. In that cooperation, that was the rule, how much the government would take. And so he owed so much. And she says, he owes to the government. We have no money. He is in prison. My wife and I talked. And we said, should we save him? He doesn't deserve it. Would you agree? And then we said, who deserves it? Do you deserve it? Do I deserve it? Jesus paid for you and for me. And we paid the bail for him. We got him out. And we paid to the government what he owed for the government. And then, so basically we paid again for our own class that we already paid for. You follow me? Second time, and paid the bail, and then gave him more material. Because his wife came to us and asked for help, he beat his wife. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Those are two stories. The other two.